Hi, everyone. Today we're going to be going through Investigation B. Now, it's very important before you do this that you're understanding and have completed Investigation A, as well as know your radian measures around the unit circle and your degree measures, because this lesson won't make sense if you've just skipped to it. All right, so taking a look at Investigation B, we're going to be building the unit circle. And again, this is the basis for what we're going to be doing this entire year. So you really want to make sure you grasp this. So let's go ahead and define the unit circle. The unit circle is essentially a circle with radius measurement of 1. So that means the radius length of the circle is 1. Really important fact. And this circle is centered at the origin of the coordinate system. And that means its center is 0, 0. All right. And again, feel free to pause and rewind things if you need to go back and cover the bases. It says when the hypotenuse is 1, xy can be written as. So let's go ahead and take a look at the graphic here. Well, here we have an hypotenuse length of 1 right here. And theta is right here. So the opposite side to theta is, of course, our sine. Sine is opposite leg. And we see that the opposite leg is actually the vertical leg. So that means the y coordinate here is the length of the vertical leg. Okay? And also the adjacent side to theta is cosine, but that length is x. That's x units to the right. So our x coordinate is actually the cosine of theta when we're dealing with the unit circle. So that means that when the hypotenuse is 1, x comma y can be written as cosine of theta, comma, sine of theta. Okay? Now I'd like you to pause the video and go through and label the unit circle. Seriously, pause the video and we'll see you in a few minutes. All right, so we're back. Let's go around and label the unit circle using degrees. So we'll start here at 0 degrees. Halfway around the circle is 180. Half of 180 is 90 degrees. And halfway between 180 and 360 degrees is going to be 270 degrees, another 90 degrees. And then we can kind of split the first quadrant into the basic angles. Well, the smallest angle is going to be 30 degrees. Next larger angle is 45 degrees. And the next larger angle is 60 degrees. Okay. And then we can kind of use like our reference angles. See, we are 30 degrees away from the x-axis here. So every point here is going to be 30 degrees away from the x-axis. So therefore, this point here will be 30 degrees away from 180 or 150. This point here will be 30 degrees larger than 180, 210. And this point will be 30 degrees less than 360, or 330 degrees. And we'll do the same thing with the other reference angles here, 45 degrees. All the other angles in a similar position will be 45 degrees away from the closest x-axis. So 135 is 45 degrees less than 180. 45 degrees more than 180 is going to be 225. And then 45 degrees less than 360 is going to be 315 degrees. Lastly, we have our 60-degree reference angle right here. And all the angles in that position will be 60 degrees away from the closest x-axis. So 120 degrees. And this point here will be 60 degrees more than 180. Well, that's going to be 240 degrees. And then 60 degrees away from 360 will be 300 degrees. So all these angles should make sense. So that is the labeling of the unit circle using degrees. Now we're going to go on to radians. And with the radian measure of the angle, we want to make sure that we start with 0 radians. That's going to be the same as degrees. We know halfway around the circle is pi radians. If we go all the way around, we get to 2 pi radians. And then we're just splitting the half circles into fractions of pi. So we have pi on the left, so halfway around will be a half pi, or pi over 2. And on the bottom will be 1.5 pi's, or 3 pi over 2. Okay, and then we've also talked about splitting the circle into sixths. So that's the smallest piece that we'll actually split it into. There's pi over 6. And every point that's in a similar position to pi over 6 will have a 6 as the denominator. So we have 5 pi over 6 here, 1/6 of a pi less than pi. 1/6 more of a pi is going to be 7 pi over 6. And then 1/6 less than 2 pi will be 11 pi over 6. And again, we're labeling this circle right now with the positive radian angles. But we could also label it with negative radian angles. Let's take a look at the pi over 4 angles. So pi over 4 reference angles will be 1/4 of the way around a half a circle. And so 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, so 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, and 7 pi over 4. And that would bring us to 2 pi with 8 pi over 4. Next, we can look at the pi over 3 reference angles. So pi over 3 is here. 2 pi over 3, here's another 1/3 of a pi added to that. 3 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3. Let's write that again a little more clearly. 4 pi over 3 is going to be here. We have 5 pi over 3. And if we did one more, we would get to 6 pi over 3, which is 2 pi. So that's our unit circle labeled with radian angles. All right, thanks for watching.